Have you been doing all the right things to try and build your successful full-time business only to be left wondering, what am I missing? What if it's not the action you're taking, but something much deeper? What if the thing that you're waiting to finally feel like a real entrepreneur is actually the same thing you need to develop before you can create the business that you want? In this episode, I'll show you how to cultivate legit business owner energy that is required to actually grow your revenue. Because entrepreneurship isn't just about building a business. It forces you to become the person capable of holding the business that you say you want. What is up? Happy Money Monday and welcome back to another episode of the Empowered and Abundant podcast. This week, I want to be straight with you and talk about what it really takes under the surface to grow a successful business. And when I'm talking about a successful business, what I'm talking about here is pursuing work that you love, work that you're passionate about, and making enough money in that work to be able to support yourself financially with that work. So whether that's your art, whether it's life coaching, whether it's something else that you enjoy, that you love doing, that you want to do more of, it's being able to pursue that work full time and make enough money from that to be able to live your best life without money holding you back. And what it really takes under the surface in order to be able to create that. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience because being in business for the past 6 years, it took me many of those years to get to the point where I was able to go full-time in my business. It took me many years to become a six-figure business owner. And for many years in a row, I actually failed at trying to achieve this goal. And there were many times where it felt hard or out of reach and impossible. And I wondered, wow, am I ever actually going to get there? But eventually I did. And there's a lot that goes into being able to actually create and achieve that kind of life, that life of I can do what I love and support myself financially. And I'm not just talking about the action that goes into running a successful business, because I think that's what is mostly promoted is take these steps, take these actions, do these things, post on social media X times, send X number of emails, meet this many people, do X, Y, and Z, and then you'll get there. And yes, taking action is important, but when it comes to really stepping into the level of success that you desire in a business, what's more important is everything that goes on under the surface. And it is my personal favorite saying. I say this all the time to my clients. I say it all the time when I'm guesting on other podcasts, that entrepreneurship is a pressure cooker for personal growth. And it's not for the faint of heart. And in order to be successful in entrepreneurship, it forces you, it requires you to grow in so many ways. Otherwise, you're unable to do it. And especially when the entrepreneurship that you are in is rooted in heart-centered service, alignment, fulfillment, joy, right? When it's something that lights you up, when it's something you love doing, when it's in service to other people, it really requires you to grow in so many ways in order to find this balance between doing what you love and supporting yourself financially. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is what's really going on under the surface. What is the personal growth that is required in order to build a full-time creative entrepreneurship business that you love? So this shows up in a couple different ways, and it can show up differently for a lot of different people, but I have seen this happen time and time again from my own experience and in my experience working with my clients. So I'm going to share with you my own journey, my own personal growth challenges and obstacles that I have had the opportunity of facing through entrepreneurship. And we're going to talk about what are the key foundations to be aware of and to know is part of this journey that you're signing up for. Because when you're aware of these things and when you're intentional about them and you work through them, then that's going to make this journey of entrepreneurship a lot smoother. Maybe not easier, because the reality is in a lot of ways it's not really an easy path, because it forces you to grow and pushes your boundaries in so many ways. So first and foremost, I think it's important to recognize that pursuing creative entrepreneurship is not the norm. When we look around at a majority of all like popular society, the norm is to go get a 9 to 5 job that's like decent and makes good money and seems very like professional and real and successful. Like, get a real job, make good money, have the 9 to 5, have the family, do all the traditional things. And so if you're someone who's pursuing creative entrepreneurship, for example, coaching, if you're in the coaching industry, you're automatically choosing the less walked path. Like, that's automatically what is happening. And that, first and foremost, can be really hard and confronting and challenging for a couple of reasons. One is because when you're going against the grain of society, it feels like society is going against you. And so in order to do this, in order to take this step, you have to have a deep sense of internal firmness. You have to feel really solid and confident in what it is you want to do. You have to have a deep level of belief in yourself, because you can walk around your life and get the sense that other people don't believe in you. Other people don't believe in this vision, and that you're like not doing the right thing. And so for me, what this looked like was many years of pursuing my coaching business and thinking like this isn't a real job, and having fights with my mother and family members to just like get a real job. And even when I would meet people in the wild, out in real life, and I would introduce myself and talk about what I do, there was a level of uncertainty or shame or nervousness. And I would introduce myself and I would just give this like long ramble of answers. And I would be like, oh yeah, I'm Scarlett. I'm a yoga instructor and a Reiki practitioner, and I'm also a coach, and I like do this too. And all of that was coming from this place of uncertainty, because it didn't feel like I was doing a real legit thing that I could be fully confident in and fully solid in. It felt like coaching wasn't a real job, and I was just over here like floundering around playing pretend. And this can be really challenging for a lot of people, especially when you're just starting out, because you have this idea and it's like this little baby sprout. It's like a tiny little plant. And you're like, okay, I'm going to take this tiny plant of an idea out into the world. And then it feels like there's a bunch of people like stepping on it. And you're like, oh my gosh, no, like my tiny plant. And so this is why it's so important that we need to take the time to build up the sense of internal firmness and validation and confidence and belief in ourselves first. Because the reality is, it's like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You're going to go out into the world and it's going to feel like people are like stomping on that plant. But we don't need to change the world, and we don't need to blame other people for that. That's just reality. But we have to control what we can control, and that is our sense of belief, our sense of confidence, our sense of self-worth and emotional firmness and resilience. And so for me, this looked like many years of getting really solid in what I do. And it was hard for a long time, especially because I wasn't actually making any money. If anything, I was spending a lot of money. And every time I spent money, oh my gosh, the conversations and fights I would have with my now fiance, but my boyfriend at the time, who's been with me for this whole business journey, I literally felt like a crazy person thinking about investing in my first business coach and then my second business coach, and spending crazy amounts of money on something that doesn't even seem real or tangible. And while I'm meanwhile like not making any money. You know how crazy that sounds from an outside perspective, to be like, I'm going to pursue this thing and I'm going to make money while doing it, but I'm not making any money yet. And meanwhile, I'm going to spend thousands of dollars on a coach. It is literal insanity. But even though I felt like a crazy person, even though looking at it objectively, it was crazy, at the same time, I really believed in myself. I really believed in my vision. I really believed in what was possible for me. And I knew that if I kept going, I could make money while doing this. And I knew that continuing to invest in myself and my growth and my belief was the only way for me to make money while doing it. And so what happened was those many years of challenging conversations, of feeling like my business was being threatened, of feeling like it wasn't good enough, I'm not capable enough, it's not a real thing, but still choosing it anyway. That caused me to grow. And that really created like a solid foundation on the inside for me. We need to build this internal firmness so that the elements outside of us can't affect us and can't phase us. If we talk about that tiny plant, that tiny sapling, right? That tree needs to grow a firm trunk and needs to get more solid so that the elements, the wind and the rain and the people stepping on you doesn't affect you anymore. And the reality is that this is a process that has to be learned through action. Like you can only learn this through having those hard confronting conversations, having your mother yell at you and tell you to get a real job, having month after month of not really making any money, making those hard decisions about whether or not you're going to keep going or whether or not you're going to quit, whether or not you're going to invest in yourself or whether or not you're going to just like keep doing it the way you've been doing it. Like it was through all of those painful, hard, tearful conversations that I had to reaffirm my belief in myself over and over again. And that is what built my level of firmness, my emotional resilience that came from having those experiences. And what happens is, unfortunately, and this is what makes entrepreneurship really hard, is we think that, okay, once we have the money, then that'll prove like, okay, I did it. Okay, this is a real job. Okay, I can believe in myself because now I'm making money. And yeah, that's great. But unfortunately, it doesn't really happen that way. Because in order to actually make the money and in order to actually support yourself financially, you need to be very confident in who you are and what you do. You need to walk around your life and treat yourself like a legit business owner. You need to embody what I call legit business owner energy. But if you're not making money yet, you still need to create that legit business owner energy for yourself first, because that is what's going to lead to the money. We like to flip this around and think like, okay, once I start making money, then I'll be a legit business owner. And then once I'm a legit business owner, then I can walk around more confident. But you have to feel like a legit business owner first in order to actually call in the money. So we need to create this emotional resilience, this sense of identity, this sense of legitness within ourselves first. And that is what opens up the door for more money to flow in. And unfortunately, in order to do that, it means that we're going to be confronted every single day to be pushed into that level of belief. And if you don't have that level of belief yet, trust me, you're going to feel it. It's going to show up in the conversations that you're having. It's going to show up when you're in a room full of a bunch of networking people or normal people or your extended family, and they ask you like what you do for work and you feel uncomfortable and nervous when you have to answer that question. Right? Like that's what I'm talking about here. It's going to show up when you're talking to a potential client, but you're not really sure if they want to work with you or if you can really help them. And, like all of that energy, it has to start from within first. Often we want this external financial validation to prove that we are legit, but we need to create the legitness within ourselves first. And the more that we create that legitness, the more that people can feel that legitness radiating off of us and be willing to say yes. Oh, I can trust you with my money. I can trust you to support me. You seem very legit. You seem very confident. You seem very comfortable. You're the kind of person that I want to work with. And so this is one of the big reasons why entrepreneurship is a pressure cooker for personal growth, is because you have to become so solid and confident in who you are and what you do, even before you have any proof at all. You have to develop a deep level of self-certainty, self-worth, self-confidence, and emotional resilience to fail over and over again, to be in a room of people who don't believe in you and don't think what you're doing is real and this isn't the traditional path, and that you're a crazy person. And you have to still feel the same level of confidence and resilience and stability and legitness and belief in yourself, even while being in those rooms. If you don't do that, then it's going to be really hard to keep going. And all of those things, they're going to really affect you. And guess what? Like, it's still going to be hard. It's still going to hurt. You're still going to have those tearful conversations. And how can you learn and grow from all of those experiences? This is one of the biggest reasons why in the Empowered Abundance program, I teach my clients how to develop rock solid self-worth. Because when you're an entrepreneur, your business is a reflection of you. It's coming from the heart. It's coming from your mind. You're taking this idea, this vision from nothing, and you're saying, you know what, like, I'm going to bring this into reality. I'm going to put my soul and my passion out into the world. It can be very easily deeply tied to you. And, I hear a lot of business coaches, they talk about like separating your identity, separating your self-worth from the business. And I think like that's true in a lot of ways. And at the same time, like, it's important to recognize that it is so natural for your self-worth to be attached to your business. And in order to like detach those two things, it takes effort, it takes time. And so it is so important to develop a really deep, solid, confident sense of self-worth as you pursue your business. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard when people say no to you, when people reject you, when people don't want to work with you, when people don't understand what you do, when you feel like you're failing over and over again. It's so easy to take that really personally because it's not just like a job. It's you. It's all you. And it's all on your shoulders. And you are creating it. And that has been incredibly challenging for me. In my own entrepreneurship journey, I have had to shatter my identity 1,000 times over the past 6 years to get to where I am now. I've had to confront these deep wounds of not being good enough. My, like young middle school bullying that makes me think like I'm not good enough. I need to show up a certain way or act a certain way to be better. Like, all of that has shown up time and time again in my business. But in order to really create a successful, financially stable business, we need to keep going through all of that. We need to keep growing through all of that, which is why entrepreneurship is a natural pressure cooker for personal growth. You see, for me, a lot of the identities that I have personally had to shatter is perfectionism, right? Thinking that I need to be perfect or show up a perfect way, thinking that I need to adapt or become like a chameleon and act a certain way in order to be liked, in order to do it right? Like, all of that shows up in business, thinking like, I got to make sure I'm checking all the right boxes, I'm saying all the right things, I'm doing all the right things, and having to face these old parts of me that like need to be perfect, can't make mistakes, need to get it right, need to be liked by everybody. And that needing to be liked by everybody, that has shown up big time. Because the other thing for entrepreneurship is what you're doing is you are forcing yourself to expand. You're forcing yourself to become bigger. You're forcing yourself to literally put yourself in front of more people and say, hey, do you want to work with me? And you're opening yourself up to possible rejection all the time. Constantly. And so when we have all this gunk floating around under the surface around our identity, right? Like, I'm not good enough unless people work with me. I'm not good enough unless people say yes. I'm not good enough unless I make enough money. I'm not good enough unless I make sure I'm doing everything right and checking every single box. Guess what? All of those things are going to be confronted in entrepreneurship, because the reality is there's zero entrepreneur out there who's pursuing their business and everything is just going 100% perfect. Every single person that they interact with says yes. Every single person that they ask to work with them says yes. That doesn't happen. Signing up for entrepreneurship is signing up for constant rejection. And that can be really uncomfortable, and that can be really hard, and that can be really scary, which is again why this internal sense of self-worth, sense of resilience, sense of belief, no matter what's going on the outside, is so important. And what's fun about this is you don't really get this in a normal 9-to-5 job or in the traditional path. In the traditional path, you can have these self-worth leaks happening under the surface, but they're not really confronted because you're not constantly putting yourself out there and offering yourself up for rejection. You're not constantly stepping into next levels of visibility and hoping that people will say yes to this beautiful service that you're bringing forth to the world. So while entrepreneurship is a really uncomfortable process, it's also a process that's it's polishing you. It's hardening you in a good way, and it's forcing you to step into your next level of self-worth and self-confidence. How this has also showed up for me is, I'm someone who wants to be liked. That has always been very deeply rooted for me. Is I want everybody to like me. I don't like when people don't like me. I don't like when I hurt people or say the wrong thing. I take that so personally, and that has stuck with me since childhood. Has continued to show up for all of my life, is wanting to be liked. And on entrepreneurship, oh my gosh, that is so hard, because not only is it confronting me wanting to be liked every single time I've put myself out there and gotten no after no after no, it also confronts this desire in me to want to be liked every time I have to push myself to serve my clients more. And this was really surprising for me when I encountered this for the first time, is that in order to be of my highest level of service, I have to break through my own barriers of my own identity. Because the reality is, as a coach in the coaching industry, what I have to do to serve people is be really honest and direct and bold. And sometimes I have to say the hard thing that no one else in the world is going to say to this person about how, listen, your dreams are on you. Your vision that you desire, it is possible for you. And also, you're the only one that can do something about it. And if you don't change what you've been doing, how you've been living, the choices you've been making, then your life and your reality isn't going to change as well. And that now is the time. Now is the only time for you to do something about it. And if you keep doing these things that you've been doing, it's not going to serve you. It's not going to get you to where you want to go. And those can be really hard, difficult conversations, especially when it feels like, oh gosh, I'm going to say this thing and they're going to hate me and they don't want to hear it. And so much of my business, I've had the belief of people don't want to change. People don't want their life to be different. People don't want this information from me. And I find that this is really common, especially in the coaching industry, where we keep ourselves small. We don't say the hard thing because it's uncomfortable for us. But unfortunately, or fortunately, entrepreneurship, especially coaching, really, really pushes me to grow and say, you know what? I am willing to say the hard thing. I am willing to be unliked. I'm willing to be bigger, more visible, show up more powerfully, more boldly, more directly in service to my people, even if it means I'm more polarizing, even if it means there's more people who don't like me, even if it means I kind of piss people off. And this is really hard for a lot of people, but it is worthwhile when we reconnect back to why we're doing all of this in the first place. And I've had this conversation with myself a million times throughout the journey of my business, but even more and more recently as I'm continuing to step into and evolve into my next level, is recognizing that there are people out there in the world who are meant to receive my service. And it's the same for you. There are people out there in the world who are meant to receive your service, but they can't get your service if you don't fully believe in yourself and if you're unwilling to serve that person fully, even if it's uncomfortable for you. And that's the reality, is that deep service can be really uncomfortable, and often it is, because it requires us to set aside our ego, our sense of safety, our sense of belonging, in order to be in service to the world and say what people need to hear. But not from a place of like, I'm shaming you, I'm judging you, you should do it differently, but from a place of, I believe in you. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to be that person, maybe the only person in the whole entire world who's willing to say the things to you that no one else is willing to say, because we're all being too nice. And so what I've learned in my business is that I have a couple of secrets. I have a couple of secrets that I haven't fully shared with anybody. And over the past 6 years, these secrets have been slipping through the cracks and coming out a little more and more. And my secrets are that I'm kind of pushy. That I am actually secretly a very direct and a very bold person. My secret is that I believe in you so freaking much. I look around and I meet people, and there's people in my life, and I look at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, everything that you want is so possible. And I believe in you so much. I believe in you, and I see solutions for you so much that I've spent so much time like holding back solutions, because there are so many people who are just happy where they are and they don't want to hear the solutions. And this has been my next level of personal growth that entrepreneurship is pushing me into. Is I, for many years, have spent a long time focusing and thinking about the people who don't want to hear what I have to say, who don't want to hear my solutions, who don't want to hear my belief in them and what is possible for them, because they are happy where they are comfortable, and they don't want to change. It has been my growth to stop focusing on these people and to only focus on the people who want the unique value and service that I have to offer. Which is why, as a result, like, I can only work with the clients who want to grow deeply, the clients who want to push, who want to be pushed, the clients who want solutions and are so deeply committed to their vision that they're willing to do the hard, uncomfortable, scary things no matter what in order to get there. The clients who actually want support, who want change, who want transformation, who want growth, the people who are ready. And this is the same for you and your clients as well. We can spend so much time focusing on the wrong people that we don't want to harm, we don't want to hurt, we don't want to offend. But when we spend time protecting those people, it holds us back from connecting with the people who are meant to work with us. And my clients have had the pleasure of seeing a slightly different side of me, a side that is a little less nice. I mean, come on, I'm still friendly, like I'm a good person, but I'm less nice and I'm more direct. And in the coaching, I'm like, this is what's going on. This is the problem. This is the solution. Let's get right to it. Let's stop wasting time. Let's move forward. Your dreams are important. I believe in you hard. But they want that. They signed up for that. And those are the clients that I am always continuing to call in. And so in order to do that in bigger and bigger ways, that's the same version of me that I get to bring forward into the public facing version as well. And that's, again, another layer of discomfort, another layer that confronts the parts of me that want to be nice, want to be liked, doesn't want to offend anybody, right? Doesn't want my sense of self-worth and identity to be compromised publicly. And yet, this is what entrepreneurship requires all of us to do, is to continue to step into that next level in service for the sake of the clients that we are meant to work with and meant to serve in this lifetime. And so this has been my journey through entrepreneurship. I know it's your journey as well, and I'm continuing to always step into the next level of it because it keeps going. And so for me, what this looks like now is bringing forward an even more bold and direct version of me, being willing to say the hard things, the uncomfortable things in service to my people, knowing that the wrong people are going to fade away and the right people are going to show up. The people who are so connected to their vision, their business, the kind of life they want to live, and they're willing to do anything to get there, and they're done playing around. And they want the solutions, they want the directions, they want to work with someone who believes in them, who's going to fight for them, someone who's walking the walk every single day. And that's exactly what I aim to do, which is why this is now my journey to bring this version of me, this next level version of me through and through in all parts of my business, and continuing to let go any parts of me that are trying to keep me small, protect me, or hold me back. And this is the journey of entrepreneurship. And this is more vital than anything that's going on like on the surface. You can take all the action in the world. You can do all the right steps. But if you have this smallness holding you back, it doesn't matter what actions that you take, because in order to truly step into the next level of entrepreneurship that you desire, you have to do the deep inner growth that is required of you in order to show up fully, be who you're meant to be, and serve the people you're meant to serve in this lifetime, even if that means you're not going to be liked, even if that means you're going to get rejected, even if that means you're going to fail more. Every single hard thing that you have to experience is part of the growth. And every single hard thing that you go through pushes you into higher heights. That is the journey of entrepreneurship. You're always getting both. The deeper you go, the harder you fight, the more you heal, then the more impact you have in this world, the more people you serve, and the more money you make. And this is why entrepreneurship is the pressure cooker for personal growth. And this is why in Empowered Abundance, I give you all the foundations for deep personal growth, deep internal transformation, deep internal self-awareness, so that you can develop deeper levels of self-trust, self-confidence, and self-love, because that is what is required in order to expand massively, in order to expand bigger and bigger into your next level of abundance, is we have to be able to do this deep level of inner work. Okay, that's what I have for you today. Enrollment for the next round of Empowered Abundance is opening soon. So if you're listening to this and you're like, Scarlett, I am ready for next level expansion. I'm ready to step into my biggest, most abundant life. And I know that there's more waiting for me on the horizon, and I'm committed to getting there, and I'm committed to achieving it. Then Empowered Abundance is the program to support you in that journey. And it is the program to help you get there. So if you want to make sure you get all the updates about enrollment opening for Empowered Abundance, you're going to want to hop on my email list so that you never miss an update. And the easiest way to do that is by taking my free quiz to discover your money mindset type. If you haven't taken this quiz already, oh my gosh, you're missing out. It is super short, super fun. It'll only take you 2 minutes. And when you take this quiz, you're going to learn so much about your current relationship with money, the internal sides of your relationship with money and everything we talked about today, but also the tangible sides of your relationship with money, which plays such a big role on your business and your ability to live your most abundant life. So you're going to find out your unique money mindset type, the strengths of your money mindset, the challenges that come with your money mindset, and the specific next steps to take for you to move the needle forward and step into your next level of abundance. Plus, you'll get amazing, fun, valuable abundance emails from me each week and all the updates for the Empowered Abundance program. So go ahead and take that free quiz on my website, thebizhippie.com/quiz. Okay, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. Have a great rest of your Money Monday, and I will see you next week.